Welcome back to the Human Algorithm Podcast, where we explore the intersection of technology, media, business, and the human stories driving change. I'm Sean Lim, your host. Today's conversation is not just about content creation or social media metrics. It's about survival, resilience, and what it means to take back your narrative, even when life knocks you down. So today my guest is Charlene Chew. She's a creator, fitness coach, and a beauty guru with over 70,000 followers on Instagram and nearly 300,000 on TikTok. But behind the beautifully curated content is a survivor of sexual assault, devastating burns, her neurodiversity journey as someone with OCD, and the silent struggles that few dare to speak about. So Charlene, thank you for being here. Before we dive in, what's one thing people don't know about you? Something that they've never seen on TikTok or Instagram?
Thank you for having me, Sean. I'm very excited to be here. One thing that I think people don't know about me, I had to think quite seriously about this, is that I'm quite unserious about everything. I like to I just like to talk a lot of, can I say shit?
Yeah, go ahead.
I talk a lot of shit. I yap a lot. And I think I don't really show this unserious side of me because, I don't know, I have an insecurity that maybe I'm not as funny as I think, but like my partner thinks I'm very funny lah.
Yeah, he's over there.
Yeah, he's over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's one thing people don't know much about me. Also because my content is very vulnerable, raw, and showing the darker sides of life, unfiltered. I think this is just a part of me that I don't really show. Oh, and also I love food. Like I love just the whole gourmet experience, experiencing the stories behind food or the cultures. Yeah, I just love it.
You can become a food content creator.
I wish, yeah. In my other parallel life,
I'm mukbang,
not the mukbang kind. I'm the guy who, like, you watch Ratatouille.
Yeah.
And the guy who goes to review like the food in the fine dining restaurant with his pen and like note. Yeah, that's me.
That's you. Wow. So you have to write down everything.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So food bloggers, watch out for her.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start from the beginning. You have been through unimaginable pain, sexual assault, surviving third-degree burns, and now living with OCD as well. What's the turning point that made you realize I need to tell this story, not just for yourself, but also whether it might help someone else out there?
When I started documenting on TikTok, it was because a friend of mine asked me to do it. TikTok was just becoming a thing back in 2020 and I was really bored. I just moved back to Singapore from Australia. I had no friends. I literally had nothing to do. It was also COVID. So I just thought, okay, let me, just document my journey because it's going to be a couple years. And I didn't know how TikTok worked. I thought it's the same as Instagram. Like if you got no followers, then like nobody will see it.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, my cousin texts me like, oh, you went viral. I say, how do you know I have TikTok? So, and then that's how it kind of picked up. And then people started messaging me, very long paragraphs saying, oh, I know someone messaged me. I wanted to commit suicide, but because I saw your videos, you gave me so much hope that I decided to live. And I think it was getting messages like these that made me realize, oh, okay, I feel like all my life since I was born, I kind of have a mission to help other people. Every time I get readings or, you see those, like Chinese, like they read your 八字 everything.
Fortune teller.
Yeah, fortune teller. They always tell me, oh, you're here for, to speak the truth for humanity and you have a gift for like helping people. And so I really do feel like that is true. And I felt, this is my chance now to actually help people and be of service. So yeah, I just thought it wasn't like a flick of a switch. It was a very gradual, I want to do this.
Yeah. And you are sharing openly now about your neurodiversity journey, right? And that didn't used to be the case. And for me, my daughter is neurodiverse as well, and she's on the spectrum. And that's why I'm watching your content with so much interest because it features me as well. And you mentioned previously that you have been diagnosed with OCD, and it's one of the most painful conditions to live with. Do you feel your OCD or your neurodivergence has shaped how you create content? Has it made you more creative, or do you think it's a barrier as well?
I think that living with OCD, as with any other mental condition, is both an ally to my content and also an enemy. Because I would say it's an ally because when you have a mental condition, you tend to be a more sensitive person. You feel everything very, very deeply, and it kind of forces you to think about things that people without a mental condition don't really think about, and you see a bigger picture. You feel things a lot more intensely, and so it's a gift and a curse to feel everything very deeply. So if you feel everything very deeply, you also tend to question a lot of things. So I think when you actually question yourself so deeply, you tend to arrive at certain conclusions. And so I like to take these conclusions, and that's why it takes me so long to create a piece of content, because it's an accumulation of all the work that I've done, and I condense it into a 1 minute 30-second art piece, right? Which is my content that I deliver. So in that way, I think it's an ally. It's an enemy because, of course, it's painful, right? And to constantly have to alchemize all this pain into something that's positive and into wisdom it takes a lot of effort and time and money to go to therapy. And it's also hard because sometimes you get hate because people don't understand. Like, oh, why are you always crying on camera? People are allergic to people crying on camera. I don't know why. Or what else do I get? Or just having to, why must I do this? Like, why must I feel like I need to work on things so I can come up with content ideas? Or why must I show up today when I really don't want to be seen? Yeah.
Yeah, I think the very powerful one, like I was watching your TikTok on the way here, was the self-regulation one. Like you and your bed with, like, you are meditating, or you know, like, and there's so many angles. So I think you take a while to film that, right?
Yeah, literally, yes. It's all these, we call it B-rolls, right?
Yeah.
Like, wow, it's so stressful. It's being a content creator / influencer is like acting, right? You set up the camera there, and then you okay, now I act.
Or
like,
do you have help? Do you get him?
No, I do it all by myself. I have to, I act like I'm meditating, because I can't actually meditate when I'm recording, because I'm like thinking, is the camera on? Like, is the lighting okay?
First world problems.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And you know, we touched a little bit about your burns just now, right? And you have previously said in other interviews as well, like your burns created a disconnection between you and your body, because you feel like your skin no longer belong to you. What is it like rebuilding that relationship with your body while living so publicly online?
That's an amazing question. So it's been almost 5 years. So in this October, it'll be 5 years since my burns accident. And I'm actually beginning to unpack the trauma from it in therapy now. And it's actually still really, really overwhelming for me. So I really don't think I've even touched the surface of really actually processing this trauma, you know. And of course, I think over the last 5 years, healing so publicly is... it was a very positive experience for me, and it was very empowering. But also, I think there was always a part of me that was suppressing, like, you know, when I talk about it, and then I feel like crying because I feel so deeply about it. The lost identity, the what should have been, what could have been. So I do feel like I am suppressing that part, right? So it's just always juggling, like, two parts of myself. One who's very happy and empowered, and the other one who's, this is so unfair. I'm so sad. I don't know how to deal with it. Yeah.
One thing recently that I found out about you is that you are Gen Z.
Yeah.
And that shocked me, because it's like you are so mature to a point that I feel like, you know, you're not old, but it's just like I feel like you're very mature.